Your kiss, your smile, those hips don't lie.
Alright everybody, how y'all doing? I'm back again. This is the V and Vines TV and movie review. I am V. As you can see, it's just me again today. My partner is down right now. We work Monday through Friday, so you know she be tired. I understand, we gotta give each other breaks, so I get it. So I'm basically back with another review. This time I am doing a review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I have been watching Love and Marriage Huntsville for about 5-6 years now, basically since the first season. And this is my first time reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I'm going to be reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville season 8 episode 1. And I done took a lot of notes for this. Okay, it took me all day to take these notes. My hands is cramped, all right? I had to go take me a little shower, clean up before I came on camera, and basically set up everything because I haven't eaten all day. Well, I'm lying. My daughter made breakfast, so I did have like some biscuits and some bacon this morning. But that's regardless of the fact. Anyway, we are about to get into the Love and Marriage Huntsville of it all. We're about to get into the Martell Holt and his enabling ass mama of it all. So I have my wine here. Yes, my glass is full, and this is gonna hold me to the video. So I got my wine here, and I also have some snacks. And yes, it's in the pan. It's in the pan because I don't have nothing fancy to put my stuff on to make no charcuterie board or whatever we call it. So today is gonna be the hood charcuterie board. Again, whatever we are calling it, that's what it is. But we're about to get into it. So this is Love and Marriage Huntsville season 8 episode 1, Arrested Redevelopment. The description is the fallout with Martell's arrest begins. Mel increases her security around her home. Tisha finds out that Destiny was betrayed by somebody in the group. And Mel's event is crashed by an unexpected guest. Let's wonder who that could be. Anyway, so starting out, the show starts off with Martell being arrested. Basically, they come on talking about Martell arrest and him being behind bars for harassment, communication, and domestic violence. Martell is talking about basically that they have children and they'll be in each other's lives for the rest of their lives. So we're basically at Mel's house with Nico White and Marvis Young, which is Mel's private security. And Nico says that they basically want to make sure that they have eyes on both sides of the house, on both sides of the street, so that they can see everybody coming and going. And Marvis is saying that basically what's important is Mel's and her children's safety. That's basically number one priority. And Mel is basically like absolutely, and that she's glad that they are there and how much she basically appreciates them. Mel says that she's going to go ahead and let them make the calls that they need to make to put everybody in place. Mel basically like stepping at security up like this the White House security. Mel ain't playing with Martell ass this season on season 8 of Love and Marriage, the Huntsville. So in Mel's confessional, she says that with the recent arrest of her ex, she definitely does not know what his next move will be or what he would try to pull next, basically. So she felt that she needed to up her security. Mel says when she started seeing people unravel, such as Martell, when she started seeing Martell unravel and become unhinged, she basically says that it's always going to be about the safety of her and her children, simply because it's their home. So she has that right to make sure that her and her children are safe. So we move on to the scene with Martell Holt. Martell is walking into the living area holding a piece of paper in his hand, which is the document with his charges. So he's holding the paper in his hand and he's like looking at the paper, reading the paper, and just disbelief basically that of what his charges is. So he walks into the living room and he sits down on the sofa with his mom, which is Miss Marlene Holt. That's his mom. And Martell is like in disbelief about the charges that were brought up against him by Mel. He was arrested for a text message he sent Melody over a year ago, stating that it was August 22nd of 22 that he sent the message. Miss Marlene says, my thing is, why would you have somebody arrested for some text messages? And Miss Marlene is like, who would even do that? She basically like, be a woman and handle your shit, basically. Basically saying that no matter what Martell over here doing, you just need to be a woman about it and handle your shit and not worry about what this man doing. Anyway, so Martell is still playing victim. And Martell has been playing victim since season 1. Since season 2, when the whole bombshell came out, okay, about him cheating. He has been playing victim and it has been tearing him up in the inside to take accountability and admit he was wrong and he ruined the family. Anyway, so Martell is basically like, his message to Mel was to stop bullying him. He's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to his mama, basically getting confirmation to his mama. And he said that that's basically what he told her, to stop bullying him, because that is all Mel and her friends had been doing. Everybody picking and bullying with Martell. Again, this has been since the second season. It's been everybody except Martell that has been wrong, okay? Martell feels... So the mama is basically like, why she keep bothering you? I don't get it. Martell feels like you don't get the law enforcement involved unless you're actually being harmed or in harm's way. So then we go over here back to Mel's house with her brother, all right? And her brother is basically in the kitchen, he cooking up some breakfast or whatever like that. And he like is a good support to Mel. He like really be there for Melody. But anyway. So Mel says that she feels like she's been working with her security for a while, so she trusts them, and she goes on to say that she has cameras in front and in the back of the house. Basically, she got cameras surrounding the house. And Marcus asks Mel, is she feeling safe about what is happening as far as everything going on with Martell and him being arrested? And Mel says she doesn't put anything past anyone. As she states, a lot of people have been calling and texting, and that this is something that is just personal and that she wants to basically keep to herself. So, from what I grasped of watching for over the years, when all of this first took place with Melody and Martell, and it came out that Martell was cheating on Melody, it was a friend group, right? So it was 6 of them. And that friend group was aware that Martell was cheating on Melody. They was aware, especially the men in that friend group. And they all were friends. So Melody was also a part of this friend group where they all was in college together. They met each other in college. They went on to do this Black Expo thing, where it was the 6 of them that was buying this land, and they were going to build up on this land. It was 3 couples, basically. They all knew those other 2 couples, which is Tisha, Marceau, Maurice, and Kimmy. They all was aware that, well, I'm not going to say so much Kimmy, but Maurice, Tisha, and Marceau was aware that Martell was cheating on Mel. And when it all came out, Mel basically fell back from everybody. Because she felt like, so nobody wasn't going to tell me anything. And then not just that, it was the jabs that was being thrown for over the years, basically trying to make Mel out to be the issue in why Martell stepped out on his relationship, on his marriage. So all of that has taken place over the years, and Mel has basically had basically gotten to a point where she didn't trust anybody. She didn't trust anybody that was around her. She didn't trust anybody who may have conversated with Martell, talked to Martell, befriended Martell, still entertaining Martell, whatever the case. She just basically fell back, and she kind of cut ties. She cut a lot of people off. She changed her phone number because Martell was doing the most. And a lot of people started kind of feeling a type of way because they felt like that Mel and Mel had grown this tight-knit friendship, and they felt like they wanted to be there for Melody, and Melody basically casted them out. So as Mel was saying to her brother that sometimes she just wants to keep things personal and to herself, her brother was also stating to her that he was calling her the night before and that he wasn't getting an answer, and he felt like something was wrong. And what I grasped is Melody basically shuts down and goes into this cave and keeps everybody out. She gets into this mode where she does not want to talk, don't feel like talking, don't even want to give the energy. And I understand her because I kind of move the same way. So I get it. If I'm going through something, or it's just something mental that's just really getting to me at the moment, I tend to kind of drown everybody out around me. And they all be feeling the way too. I don't mean no harm, but I'm just saying. Anyway, moving on. So Mel says, back in August, no longer than September is when she took the evidence to the police for a warrant. Mel also says that she could not have been really ugly or spiteful, simply because she had never gave the police Martell's actual location. So she says that she did her part, and she was basically letting divine energy do their part, do his part. So Mel was like, I ain't gonna lie, I wondered, like, why haven't they picked him up yet? And Marcus asked Mel, does she know how he got arrested? Mel says she has no idea, but was told that if Martell basically was stopped in a traffic stop for a ticket or something like that, then he would basically be aware at that point that he had a warrant out for his arrest. So Marcus says, so he did have a warrant, and Mel says since August. Marcus is like, so they just getting to him, and wonders if Martell basically turned himself in. And Mel says, now, she basically was like, you know what? That's something to think about, because he had the kids basically managed and handled while he basically went in. So In Mel's confessional, she says she's definitely saddened about how everything has taken a turn with Martell in a relationship. But the more she reads up and researches on narcissism and how they move, she says that it's basically right along the lines of how Martell moves. Also stating that when you don't know and you're not aware that you're actually dealing with the narcissist, you tend to miss a lot of signs. And that is true. You tend to miss a lot of signs. But even if it's not a narcissist, still in any relationship, we tend to miss a lot of signs. We don't want to see that this person that we actually love or like is this messed up individual. So we tend to miss a lot of signs, not just because a person could be a narcissist. So Mel says that she would have loved to divorce from Martell peacefully and be able to co-parent well, but unfortunately, dealing with somebody like Martell, it was very incapable and he makes it hard, basically. So Marcus says, have you talked to the kids? And he also asked Mel, were they with him? Were they with the grandma? Or was they at old girl house? Old girl house, meaning Ariane. Were the kids at Ariane's house? The side chick, the mistress, is who he was referring to, is who Marcus was referring to when he said it was the kids at old girl house. Just throwing it out there. So, a little backstory. So Ariane, right, was the side chick of Martell for 5 years and Martell's baby mom. Then I think she was like maybe 23, 24, maybe 26 or whatever like that at the time when she started messing around with Martell. Well, allow Martell to like get up in her head, pillow talk, all this other good stuff, and went on and she got pregnant for Martell one time. Martell had her have an abortion. She went on this whole social media little tour rampage about Melody. Everything Martell may have told her about Melody, about their relationship. Even went on Tasha K and did an interview. Okay? This mystery here was outlined. And all I'm saying is, now that Melody is moving forward the way that she is moving forward, it is mind-boggling to me how everybody is finding such an issue with the way that Melody is moving forward. But you know, people gonna be people. So anyway, Mel says that she doesn't know exactly where the kids were and assumed that they were at his mom's house. Mel says between the time of 4 o'clock when Martell was arrested to 7 o'clock when he was released, he didn't call her, his mama didn't call her, neither did the children pick up the phone to contact her. Absolutely nothing. So then we go back over here and switch back over here to Titty Boy Martell and his mom. So Martell thinking his mom basically for getting the kids, so they basically like confirming that the children was with his mama. So Miss Marlene says, because baby, I was curling my hair for work when I got that call. I was like, oh hell no. Mama said, baby, I have to come because I'm like, who does this? And this is the children's father. Martell says in his confessional that, ow, something in my eye. Anyway, Martell says in his confession that he picked his kids up from school. He dropped one of them all to tennis practice and he told himself, let me go ahead over here down to the record department and pick up these documents. So he says he left the other 2 kids in the car while he went and ran into the little record place to get his documents, and basically that was where he found out that he had a warrant out for his arrest. So Titty Boy says he immediately called his mama, and his mama was there within like 2 minutes basically. I guess she was like right around the corner, I don't know. But anyway, so Martell says at the time that he didn't even know what he was being arrested for. He says being arrested for text messaging and harassing communications, he says threw him for a loop. So he also says that his daughter Malia looked at him and asked Dad what's wrong, as he went on to say that Malia tends to know when something is wrong. And he says that he didn't know what else to do, so he just had the conversation with his children. And he basically just let them go, and he went on and turned himself in. So the children basically went with his mom while he turned himself in. And Ms. Marlene proceeds to say that it's heartbreaking basically because the children shouldn't have been able to experience that. So as she states, whatever goes on between Martell and Mel should be between them two and not trickling down to the kids. Martell says all of this going on is affecting the kids, especially seeing their dad being arrested. So my thing is this. Was it all good when he was talking about Mel publicly, bashing Mel, calling her out of her name, stalking Mel, showing up to places because he felt entitled to show up to these places simply because he was the father, but it wasn't his time for him to be present with the children? Or like when he was caught on the elevator with Ariane, his mistress, at a hotel by his wife and his children. So it's basically like, was none of this stuff affecting the children when Martell was doing it? Or is it only affecting the children now that Martell's consequences is legally catching up with him, and and Melody is not backing down and allowing him to play with her and walk all over her and disrespect her just because she left? Because he was wrong. He was cheating. Like, make this make sense to me. I just don't understand it. I do not get it. Make it make sense to me. Anyway, Miss Marlene, the enabler, says, what you did ain't nothing to do with these kids. Basically saying what he did has nothing to do with them children. She says kids are kids and they're not grown. They don't understand this life. Kids may not understand the life at the moment, at the time, but they definitely see and hear everything that's going on between their parents. And no matter what parent is doing whatever at the time, it's affecting the children. So it don't matter if it's if it was the mother that's retaliating or if it was the father that set this tone. We're not going to address how your son was also affecting these kids and having the bullshit trickling down to those kids when he started this fight with Melody. Miss Marlene. Anyway, Martell says he is wondering why Melody just keeps on doing stuff. Now he really playing victim, and I just can't. I just cannot with Martell. I just do not like him. I don't like him. I don't like no man like him that stands on anything he stands on, or even has the mindset that Titty Boy have. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so in his confessional, Martell says that he feels that Melody is filled by evil. As he feels, it is being motivated by Melody wanting to get full custody. Yo, everything falling. Yo. This man has done some things. He took this lady to court for full custody and was trying to publicly bash her and make her seem as if she was an unfit parent because she had her brother watching the kids, or her mom watching the kids, or maybe her kids was at her aunt's house or something at the moment while she was out working to be able to make the money to take care of her and her kids and make sure her and her kids is living comfortably and straight, while Martell was over there going bankrupt and going broke and spiraling out of control. Did we forget? Because I did not. I know this is my first time reviewing the show, but I did not forget any of Martell's antics. Martell ass is not a victim, and I don't feel sorry for him at all. Anyway, when we know good and damn well, this is what Martell says. Martell says, we know good and damn well them kids need their father more than their mom. He says they need a mom a lot, but a father is more imperative when raising children. Y'all caught that? I just want to know if y'all caught it. That's what I'm saying. Basically, like, the mama don't matter. We just need the mama to basically be a host and bear these children. That's it, that's all. Because the father is more important than anything. Martell, the victim, says this is the last straw. It is like Mel is trying to hurt him, and everyone tells Martell to sit back and don't say anything. Martell feels that the people want his kids to see all of the negative things about their father. And so again, Martell being painted as negative, right, publicly, and wouldn't be good for the kids, and it's not okay for the kids to see their father being painted publicly in a negative light. But it was okay for the kids to be able to see their father painting their mother publicly in a negative light. Make this shit make sense to me, okay? Make this misogynistic ass mindset make sense for me. Because I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get how it's good for the goose and not good for the gander. That's all I'm saying. I don't get it. I don't get it. And men like this always had a big goddamn mama behind them supporting their shenanigans. Anyway, Martell talking about, because he's the best father, he's the best damn father that his children has ever seen, that anybody has ever seen. And what her name is, Marlene, enabling this, backing her son shenanigans, talking about, yeah, because you was a good father, you was a good husband too, son. Marlene, he might have been a good father, but your son wasn't a good husband. I'm sorry. You ain't teach him the coping skills and everything that he needed to know. I'm so sorry. You the problem. I said it. Marlene is the problem. Martell says Mel is basically trying to damage him. Just like he was trying to damage Mel the last couple of years when it came out that you was cheating for 5 years and had a baby on your wife and your 4 kids and couldn't take the fact that your wife decided to leave and divorce you and not look back. So Betty Wright's cousin, Marlene, talking about you made a mistake and owned it. He didn't though. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't own it. No, he didn't. Because if he would have owned it, then we still would not be here in 2024, 8 seasons later, if he would have owned it. Anyway, so Marlene is mad now. She got a problem with Mel now. She like, cause now I see her for who she is. Girl, like we've been saying your son for who he is. Mel is not the problem here. No. Martell just makes me cringe. He just makes me cringe. I cannot. Anyway, we flip back on over to Melody and Marcus. And Mel is like, she don't even know if she gave Marcus the details basically about what happened. So she basically like, let me go on ahead and let you know what proceeded for me to basically go down and bring this evidence to the police back in August, September to have Martell's ass arrested. Mel proceeds to say that Martell took a video that her and Martell did together while they were married. If y'all are grasping. So Martell thought it was a great idea to basically release that video to the public on another Instagram account, pretending that it was another man that was releasing the video. So I remember when all this came out. It was all over on YouTube watching this. Because him and Ariane, his little side piece, his little mistress, his baby mama now, was plotting against Mel. Again, because they was trying to paint this picture as if she was so unfit, right? So he could take the kids for full custody. They was trying to paint this picture as she was so unfit. And they plotted to put out revenge on Mel. And the plan was, as Mel said, to put the video out from another Instagram account and make it as if another man was just leaking the video. As if she actually laid down with this man and he was leaking the video. So he was also trying to paint this narrative, still trying to run with this narrative as if she also was cheating on him while in their marriage. And I believe it came out on one of the YouTube bloggers actually had Ariane recorded, actually admitting it mid-conversation. So, God don't like ugly. And that's what I'm saying. Anyway, so Mel says that it was a scheme, basically, that Martell was plotting to continue to carry out the narrative that she was also cheating during the marriage, basically what I just said. Because when he was confronted with everything and everything came out, instead of him taking accountability, he went to the fact that, and this was like a whole couple of months, maybe like a whole year later, because at first it was she wasn't doing right within the marriage and she wasn't satisfying him sexually within the marriage. That's what it was at first. Then like a season later, it was like, oh, she was cheating on me. She was cheating too. Was not taking no accountability at all. Everything was boomerang back at Melody, as if him having a whole full-blown relationship in another family was just like, okay, like, sir, what is wrong? Whew. Anyway, so Mel says, unfortunately, you have to be held accountable. And I agree. I agree with her. Hold his ass accountable. That's the problem. His mom ain't held him accountable. And that's why he is this big man child that he is now. Because his mom ain't held him accountable. It starts within the home. Moving on. Mel says, when does it click that you're not invincible, you're not untouchable, and you can't just be out here doing whatever you want to do to whoever you want to do it to and think that you just could get away with things and not be held accountable? Because his mama got him like that. His mama got him like that. His mama got him still coddling him at his big grown man age. I be so cringe talking about Martell. Martell just, him and his mama just, Anyway, back over here to Titty Boy and Martell and his enabling ass mama. Martell says his charges are for harassing communications and domestic violence, and says how people would like hearing DV, how people will basically like get, how people would take hearing domestic violence and take it out of context as if somebody was actually beating on Mel or harming Mel, whatever the case, as if he was. And Martell says he sent about 8 sentences. I counted it. It was 9 sentences. I said it. Anyway, it was harassment. And I'm sticking to it. Moving on. So Martell, they proceed to basically show the text message that Martell sent to Melody. And it reads, "Leave me the alone. Stop speaking on me or anything about me. You're bullying me. You say one more thing about me at all, and I'm going to treat you like you treat me. I will go all the way in. It might ruin me, but you and your fans already trying. Now please, don't call my bluff, because at this point, I'm tired of you." So, to me, that sounds like that's the evidence that Melody took down to the police when it got to her that he had this whole plan, this whole scheme about putting the revenge on her, basically. So that meant that the text message came before the revenge And when the revenge came about is when Mel took action. And now Mel wrong. I don't get it. I don't get it. Martell also admitted that there was a picture attached to this text message, but they didn't show us the picture, so I don't know what was attached to it, but he did admit that the picture was attached to the message. So Martell also admits that he basically shouldn't have sent the message. So now he's regretting the fact that he sent the message. Of course you're regretting it now. Of course. Because now it has clicked to you because she done went ahead and took legal action on you. Now you regret sending it because now your legal consequences has caught up to you. Anyway, Mommy Marlene says that she basically is not that Martell is not chopping Melody down, that he's not harming Melody, and he is not trying to bring Melody down. Mama Marlene, baby, where you was at just last year? Yeah, before that. Where you been? Cause he been trying to chop her down, and he mad cause she's still standing. Hello. Martell says he can fight fire with fire, and Miss Enabler says, yeah, but you're not going to keep taking no shit either. She tells Martell, you better not, because you a man. And you can't allow nobody to just keep on at you. Just constantly at Martell. As if he is innocent. As if he was innocent. Boy. Martell says, when he starts to speak up, people are like, what are you doing? And that you shouldn't be doing your ex-wife like that y'all have kids together. And these people were speaking up because what Martell was doing was not okay. It was not okay. And they were reminding him that they had kids together because the kids were going to one day see this. Anyway, like I said, he's not innocent. Marlene says, as long as she dogging you out, it's okay. Basically saying that as long as Mel is dogging Martell out, it's okay. And I'm just like, Marlene, baby, hold your grown ass boy child accountable. Okay? Hold him accountable. Because he started all this. That's all I'm saying. Marlene says, your name is nationwide. Martell. Like, he's just such a horrible person. That's what Martell says. Like, he's just a horrible person. Marlene tells Titty Boy to continue being the misogynistic man that he is, basically. Because that's what she told him. You just continue being you. And because she says because everybody makes mistakes and everybody learns from their mistakes. But if they don't, this is what Miss Marlene says. She says, but if they don't learn from them, oh well, keep it moving. So from what I got from this is, I feel like enabling Marlene knows that her son was wrong, right? Which is why after all those seasons, she really wasn't saying much. Every time he came to her about what was going on, she really wasn't saying much. It was really like the first time she was really saying a lot. But I feel like she know her son is wrong. All right. And I feel like she knows her son has not taken accountability. And I feel like she knows that he has not learned from his mistakes. And she's basically saying, like she said earlier, regardless of the fact of what this man did, you as a woman just basically need to move on and handle your shit. Basically is what enabling, as Marlene said. I feel like they feel like Melody basically was supposed to basically accept everything that Martell was saying about her, doing to her, throwing basically whatever tantrums or whatever Martell felt like he wanted to do. They felt like Melody was supposed to basically take it, be silent about it, and just move on. While he was out here just running amok, trying to terrorize this lady. I don't get it. Anyway, we jump back over here to Mel and Marcus. And Mel says for her, it's important that she makes sure that her and the kids are safe, basically, are okay and safe, simply because she can only imagine the conversations that the children has been privy to since everything has happened, right? So Mel says that no one could have told her in a million years that when she chose to marry Martell in 2008, that in 2024, she would still be dealing with the next, or still going back and forth with the next. That's a long time. So Carlos FaceTimes Mel. For anybody who don't know, Carlos King is the producer and the creator of the show. So he FaceTimes Mel and he's like, I know you, and Mel is basically like, I know this is not Martell. I'm sorry, not Martell. She basically like, I know this is not Carlos. And Carlos, with his dramatic ass, is all cheesed up on the FaceTime. And he called basically talking about, oh my God, is this season 1 Mel? And they flash back to the first season when she got her short haircut. She brought back the short haircut. And it looked good on her now. I feel like the short hair look way better on her now in her liberated days. Post Martell. I feel like it looks much like way better on her. Like it really brings whatever. Anyway, so Mel says to Carlos, it is, and you giving me red Christmas pajamas in the closet. Back, what you doing? And they laughing. And Carlos basically was calling and checking on Mel, following up about their podcast, about his podcast, and tells her how the tickets basically are sold out, and wanted to make sure that Mel was good and ready, and that he will be down in Huntsville in a couple of days for the first show. So Mel says she loves when Carlos comes to the city because he brings everybody together. And Carlos is like, speaking of bringing everybody together, the blogs have been picking up with what's been going on with her and her ex-husband. He mentions the arrest and just wants to make sure that Melody is okay. So Mel says that she's fine and she's okay. And she thanks Carlos for checking up on it and says how it's a thing where it takes a lot of courage and strength to be able to move forward on what you know is right. And as a woman, I get it. I understand where she's coming from. Because if you have been in a relationship for years, let's say 11, 12 years with someone, and you have children with this person, and you have all of this history with this person, it is hard to say yes or say no and move forward, move on. So I get it. Carlos says they have a lot to talk about on their podcast, and they will get more into detail about the arrest with Martell on stage. Carlos says that they will have a good time and tells Melody that he will be praying for her and everyone involved. He also tells Melody, God says what? And Martell says her signature quote, God says go. And they basically say their goodbyes, their I love yous, and they're like, bye, all that extra stuff. So we move on to Stormy still. Let's talk about it. Stormy, let's talk about how good you look, girl, hopping out that SUV. Girl, I always thought Stormy was a cute girl. I always thought Stormy dressed cute. I like Stormy, okay? And Stormy looked really good hopping out that SUV. I like the outfit, the hair, the shoes, the body. Stormy was just eating, okay? Period. Anyway, so we got Stormy pulling up to Brian Smiles, Miss Nell's daycare. And Stormy hops out the SUV, once again, looking good, as always. She walks into the daycare where she's greeted by Kayla Fletcher, which is Chris and Nell's daughter. Kayla directs Stormy to Mrs. Nell's office where they hug. Nell compliments Stormy coming into her office, talking about, look at you, looking all sexy and stuff. They was real extra with it, because Stormy did look good. She did. And Miss Nell's confessional, she says, girl, Stormy looks good. Stormy looks amazing since the last time that she basically seen Stormy. And so they get like a little flashback from like when Stormy probably was like in the warehouse, not dressed up. But anyway, so she basically was like, Stormy looks really good from the last time that she's seen Stormy. And basically it was like Stormy's transformation is on point, and then Miss Nell needs to get busy, baby. That's what Miss Nell said. So Miss Nell tells Stormy how good she looks. Stormy thanks Miss Nell, telling her that she basically been in the gym for about 3 months. And then also proceeds to tell Miss Nell that she had something for her in the car, which was her body days buds. But she wasn't able to bring it in because it was so much to carry. So they move on. Miss Nell asks Stormy, so how has everything been? And who is she talking to? Who is she not talking to? Stormy says she hasn't talked to anybody. And Miss Nell is like, really? Stormy says, did you see all the stuff that Kiki posted and said in the blogs? Miss Nell says, no, girl, what she posted? Like, this how the tea was going. She was like, no, girl, what she had posted? So Stormy like, girl, you go let me see. All right, girl, so let me go ahead and fill you in. Miss Nell basically was like, she don't do social media and blogs. So Stormy was like, it's all right, baby, I got you. Let me get you caught up. So Miss Nell says, I'm sorry, not Miss Nell, Stormy says in the blogs, it appeared that Kiki was telling all of their behind the scenes takes, such as the drink being thrown in Tisha's face, all the way down to what happened in Houston last season. And that apparently Kiki was upset about Mel in Houston. And Miss Nell was like, girl, what? Clutched her pearls, okay, because she just shot. So Stormy proceeds to say that Kiki never told Mel that she was upset with her in Houston. In some kind of way, Kiki fell out with the blogs, and they basically retaliated and put out video recordings and text messages proving that Kiki went to the blogs with everything that was going on behind the scenes from the show. And Stormy says Kiki denied everything and blamed it on her mother. All I'm saying is the people been telling us about Kiki. That's all I'm saying. And people like me and Stormy didn't want to believe it. That's all I'm saying. Because I was rooting for Kiki too, but it's kind of looking like Kiki girl. So Miss Nell says, are you serious? And Stormy said, yep. Stormy said, he both just in pure utter shock, okay? And Stormy says in her confessional that Kiki does look guilty with trying to blame her mom and everything, and that she would like to hear Kiki's side first before she makes a decision on whether she would choose to deal with her or not. And she basically, Stormy is feeling like this because Stormy had been taking up for Kiki for the past couple of years, and she does not want to believe that Kiki has been this messed up individual that everybody has been telling us that she is, basically. And so Stormy says that she rides for Kiki and says that when she used to have all of her dreams and visions, nobody believed that she can do it. So she looked at Kiki as nobody believes that she can overcome what she had been through, and that she wanted to see Kiki win, and says that she just hopes Kiki wins. So basically she's saying that because Kiki had like a little drug problem, a little addiction or whatever, and people have been holding that over Kiki's head, basically, because obviously she has done some things, and Kiki's temper is not the best. So that's where Stormy is coming from with it. So Miss Nell says Stormy spent all this time defending Kiki, and now Stormy is feeling some type of way because now she feels Kiki has been lying to her, basically finding out who Kiki really is, basically. So Stormy then asks Miss Nell how does she feel about Martell, you know, with his mugshot and everything, basically asking Miss Nell how she feel about him being arrested. So they both were like, he went to jail, right? And Stormy says, was it over a text message? And Miss Nell says she hadn't talked to Mel, and X was the reason, and basically X was the reason behind the text messages. And Stormy confirms that she thinks it was because of the text message, and that she had no idea what that text message looked like. So Miss Nell proceeds to say that Martell going to jail, she does not agree with. Stormy says, why don't you agree with it? Miss Nell says because she does not agree with sending someone to jail, especially if it can be resolved. So in this case, right, these are my thoughts. In this case, I feel like lock his ass up. Simply because he's just the type of man that you got to make an example out of. So lock his ass up, throw away the key. Don't feel sorry for him. That's all I'm saying. Miss Nell proceeds to say she feels as an African-American community, black men going to jail, right? And Stormy says, yeah, that makes sense. And Miss Nell further expresses that she doesn't agree with it. So, again, So when we have these black men, right, in our African American community running amok, okay, and they're unable to be reasonable or even they're unable to be reasonable and unable to compromise with, right? It's basically okay for them to not be held accountable for their actions because they're black men, is what I heard. That's all I'm saying. Miss Nell proceeds to justify and say they have kids together. So what? Martell knew that they had kids together as well. Why does Mel have to bring it down a notch? Because she knew that they have kids, but Martell up here with it, who is also aware that he has kids. But then when Mel reaches Martell up here, we all got to stop and think about the black man. I feel like this is a part of the problem in the black community, not holding our black men accountable. They out here just running them up, doing whatever they want to do, with all these mommy issues, and they still titty boys. And we got the Betty Wright and her cousins out here saying that it's okay because they black men. Anyway, I can't. Okay, I just cannot. So in Ms. Nell's confessional, she stands firm on that. She feels if something can be resolved, you just shouldn't send your ex to jail. She feels like you just should not send your ex to jail if it could be resolved. But in this case, we have been watching for the last couple of years Melody try to compromise and co-parent with Martell, and it has been cringe watching him and his actions. Cringe. Watching him not trying to compromise with her, watching him wanting to just be in full control because he's the father. Anyway, but she does address that as someone on the outside looking in, how easy it is to just say how you feel when it's not you going through it. And she says until you are in that person's shoes, you really can't say what you would or what you wouldn't do, which is true. And we all do tend to do that. So Ms. Nell then asked Stormy, will she be attending the carlosking podcast? Stormy says she wants to go and purchase tickets, but her grandmother is having a get-together back at home as well. So she's basically trying to see if she can go ahead and swing both, like attend the podcast and make it down there to her grams. So Stormy basically says that she's gone, basically. Ms. Nell says that she wants to go, but the tickets were sold out so fast that I guess by the time she went to go and purchase a ticket, they were sold out. She couldn't purchase any. So she says she can't wait to see how it's all going to turn out. And Stormy says her either. Stormy then asks Ms. Nell, so what do you think about the whole thing with the Love and Marriage ex-producer, Sonny? Ms. Nell is like, with Destiny? She was like, girl. In the confessional, Ms. Nell basically says Stormy has clearly been waiting to discuss this tea with somebody. Clearly, she's been waiting to discuss this. And so Ms. Nell is like, I'm interested. Because clearly Moses was Destiny's man, and that she had talked to Moses through FaceTime with Destiny. So Ms. Nell is basically telling us that she can attest that Moses and Destiny was dating because she has talked to Moses on FaceTime with Destiny. Okay? And Ms. Nell is basically like, yes, she's very interested, and so am I. So give us the tea. So Simon says it was so weird for her because the relationship that she's seen with Sonny and Destiny was one of like as if they were sisterly. And that it was almost like refreshing to see two women get along the way that they did between Destiny and Sonny. So Stormy is like, whole time, it's not her man. Basically. Whole time. And Ms. Nell said she didn't even know. And that she heard Destiny, Sonny, and Moses were hanging out in St. Louis. And Stormy was like, that's how they was introduced, right? Like on the show. And Ms. Nell was like, no. And said that Destiny used to go see Moses a lot. Stormy was like, oh. So that probably makes, she was like, that probably makes sense why her and Sonny bonded more. I'm trying to understand. If Sonny was on set in Huntsville and Moses was in St. Louis and Destiny was going to see Moses in St. Louis, at what point did Moses and the ex-producer come in contact? Probably last season, I think, when, is this the same guy that Destiny brought on the reunion? I don't think she brought him on the reunion, but she was like, she wanted to kind of keep him peaceful right now, but at some point she did show him. I don't remember where I've seen them together at, but at some point she did show him. But anyway, Miss Nell said, yeah, and Destiny would tell her that she was basically going down to St. Louis to see her boo Moses. Stormy then says she thought Destiny was under the impression that Sonny and Moses were cousins. Not cousins. See that cousin and that brother and my sister drama? Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Because you got to know they strong. So Miss Nell do like that. She was like, she says, I heard that. It says that is why she always say to people, a man can only do what a woman allows him to do. Saying we as women can't control the situation and that it's left up to us to say no. So she basically like, Miss Nell is basically like, and she's just not that type of girl. Talking about Sonny. Basically not the type of girl that would just be like, no. Like, I know the situation. I know you was messing with Destiny. Me and Destiny kind of formed this bond. I can't mess with you like that. Basically is what Sonny did not do. And that's what Miss Nell is talking about. It's principle. At the end of the day. Stormy says, but she clearly is. Stormy says, but she clearly is and says that there are plenty of fish in the sea. Sonny know that there's plenty of fish in the sea, but that's the fish that she wanted. What y'all gonna do about it? Because they married and everything now, so what y'all gonna do about it? She said that's the fish she wanted. So Miss Nell basically like, exactly. Stormy said she wouldn't even want him for the simple fact that it's been a situation that she's aware of and who he dealing with. Girl code, principle. It's a principle. Miss Nell agreed, basically saying that who she is personally as a woman, and Stormy is basically like, it was just weird. At the end of the day, once again, girl code. Principle. Like I keep saying, it is the principle. It don't matter if y'all wasn't tight like this and y'all wasn't best friends and y'all didn't know each other that long or not. You knew that you was getting all in this girl business and that y'all had kind of formed this little bond or whatever, whether it was work related or not. You knew you overstepped the boundaries as a woman. Stop it. So Miss Nell says it's just distasteful. And I agree. Me and Stormy both agreed. Like, it's like Sonny wants to see what Destiny tastes like. That's what Stormy says. And so she make like this little same piece and she's like, can't do that. Anyway, so Destiny, we go over here to Destiny. We go over here to Destiny. Destiny is like, I'm back. She's like, y'all miss me? And we're just over here like, I hope you got something to talk about. Because the last couple seasons you ain't had absolutely nothing to talk about because we've been trying to figure out what's been going on with you. Since way back there. We've been trying to figure you out since way back. So you're back. We don't miss you. We just hope you got something to talk about. We just hope you are here to give us the tea this time. That's what we hope. That's what we're hoping for. So, Destiny meets up with Tisha. Destiny walks into the house, which I assume is an Airbnb that Tisha and Martell owns. And that they have been working on and getting renovated. I guess getting it ready to be listed, I guess. So, Tisha's basically like, well, when Destiny walks into the house, they hug or whatever, and Tisha's like, twin, where have you been? Basically. And they do a little dramatic scene, they little hugs or whatever like that. And you got tall, girl. Oh, you look good, girl. Girl, this house look real good. The house looks fabulous. And Tisha is just like, well, you know, this inside the house, this is just a little taste of what the real house gonna look like. That's what Tisha said. Talking about it, because she's getting California and Miami vibes in the home. But don't get me wrong, the house was real nice. Like the furniture, the colors, everything was really nice in the house. So, moving on. In a confessional, Tisha says that her girl Destiny has been through some stuff lately. Saying that she has been all over the blogs and all over the news stations in Huntsville. On top of that, Destiny's ex went and married Destiny's ex-producer. Not just her producer, but also someone she thought she can trust. Man, these people ain't to be trusted. So Tisha asked Destiny, so how have you been? You look good. How have you been? Destiny says, thank you. And you know, under the circumstances, she was gut punched with the vlog situation with her ex, which was tough for her. Tisha says, so you and Sonny, y'all have a relationship, right? She's like, you guys were friends, right? Destiny proceeds to explain that she's learning that this friend word is strong these days. And Destiny, another victim who seemed to have forgotten and still has not taken any accountability, or learned anything for not being a good friend in the past. Destiny, we ain't forget. We ain't forget how you flipped on Melody because you was feeling like Melody, because you felt some type of way because Melody said that y'all was just getting to know each other and you went on the list with everybody else. And then you went to that girl event, making it about you. We did not forget. Destiny says that she would say that her and Sunny were too close for all of this. Saying that you don't send messages to someone saying, love you sis, to somebody that you're not in some type of friendship with. Saying that it wasn't right and was literally sick to her stomach and could not sleep. Simply because she had been replaying the conversations that her and Sunny had in her mind over and over again. Saying all the times that she basically brought her around Moses. That'd be tricky right there too. Ain't gonna lie. So Tisha says, didn't she say that they were like cousins or something? Destiny says, Sunny absolutely said that they were cousins. That's nasty work right there. That's nasty work right there. That's straight. Disrespect, don't care. She ain't gonna catch on type of work right there. They didn't think you was smart enough to catch it. So they've been playing in your face, Destiny. So Destiny says, Sunny told her that she thinks her and Moses are cousins because they kept running into each other at family functions. She also says that she doesn't know if it was to throw her off of their scent or not. What did I just say? What did I just say? Girl, yes, it was to throw you off of their scent. Yes, I just said that. That's why they was telling you that they were cousins, because they didn't think that you was smart enough to catch on to what was going on, man. That's how they were able to form a whole relationship behind your back while you thought you was in a relationship with this man. And then all of a sudden came to the conclusion that they was going to tell you what was going on and went and got married. Hello? So the whole thing with them running into family and all that, got to know it was bullshit. But look, it happens to the best of us. Tisha said, that's some shady shit. It ain't trifling. And for once, I agree with Tisha. I agree with Tisha wholeheartedly, saying at the end of the day, it's girl code. And again, I wholeheartedly agree with Tisha. Although, Tisha is the pot calling the kettle black. And I'm surprised she know what girl code is. But, I agree with Tisha. She knows what she's talking about this time. So Tisha asked Destiny, so Sunny was your producer, right? So did you tell her all your details about your relationship? And Destiny said she did. They're on reality TV, so of course she has to tell her everything that's going on, because this is everything that's going to be produced and displayed on the TV show. So that kind of sucks right there for Destiny. I ain't gonna lie, that kind of sucks for her. But Destiny part with knowing, it's like with knowing that this is a producer of a reality show, it's kind of like we know that they set everything up, that they messy, they really don't mean no good, because they really just trying to get the story, they really just trying to get the scene, whatever. She probably should not, but she should not have gotten that comfortable with her. She should have just kept it in the back of her mind what it really was. But I do understand that when a person comes off to you as if they're so genuine, how it is easy to just become comfortable with that person and feel that you are forming some type of friendship with that person. So I do get it. So Tisha says that just makes her think, because you tend to trust your producers. Like I just said, you tend to trust your producers, and it just makes her feel like she needs to just hide her husband. Tisha, we don't want Maurice misogynistic ass either. We don't want your husband, Tisha. No one wants him. Nobody but you. Anyway, Destiny's like, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide everything. As Tisha says, you can't trust him. Baby, you cannot trust him. Both Destiny and Tisha agree that it is beyond professional. Destiny says, how do you want to have a career in this industry and you make moves like that and then you do it in public? Destiny, back to you being naive, my girl. Because moves like that is always made in the public by people in the industry, especially the ones in power. Hello? Anyway, so Destiny also says that they were comfortable enough to take it to the blogs as well. And she feels that that Sunny and Moses were the ones who put it out there to the blogs because nobody knew who Sunny was. Like I keep saying, they were already forming a relationship, ma'am, while you thought you were in this relationship with Mr. Moses. is what I'm saying. And it sounds like Mr. Moses played the game. Him and Grimy Sunny. That way it sounded like to me. So Destiny says that Sunny also expressed how she had her back and feels could she have been watching her and hating on her the whole time. Destiny. The naiveness of it all. I don't think she was hating on you. I think she wasn't hating on you. She just knew that she had your man, basically. I don't think she was watching and hating on you at all. I think she just knew that she had your man. That's all I'm saying. Because this was just last year. And they married already. She knew she already had your man, Destiny. Girl. Destiny, keep up. So Tisha said that this person has been in the space and your home. Everything. Like just all up in your personal space. And you just... Man, people be... Gotta watch them. So Destiny is like, yeah, and having conversations with her, sharing certain levels of relationships simply because of Sunny producing her while on the show. In a confessional, Destiny says that her and Sunny continued their friendship outside of how they originally met, which was at work on the set. Stating that Sunny wanted to manage her music-wise and book her for shows and different events that would be going on in St. Louis. And now she feels that Sunny single white female her. So I'm trying to figure out if Sunny was trying to get Destiny booked down in St. Louis. Is Sunny from St. Louis? Is this how Sunny and Moses kind of already had like a little history or whatever like that? Outside of Sunny bringing Moses around? I'm sorry, outside of Destiny bringing Sunny around Moses? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Anyway, so Tisha says Sunny didn't even feel the need to have a conversation with Destiny ahead of time before posting her and Moses' relationship on social media. And they even went as far as to post it on the media. That meant that Destiny, they like... I feel played for Destiny. I ain't gonna lie. I feel played for Destiny. And Sunny will have to see me. Sunny and Moses. Will have to see me. Moses, because you was playing the game, you knew you was playing the game. You a man, you know what I'm saying? That's what y'all do sometimes. But Sunny, even more, because it's principal and girl code. And that girl probably shared some things with Sunny that she probably think back on and probably regret sharing with that girl because she thought that they was that tight or whatever the case. Sunny. But I ain't gonna judge it right now though, because we still got a whole season to go to really see what happened and how this all came about. But I'm giving you my side eye, Sunny. On you. I got my eye on you, Sunny. So Destiny says that Sunny reached out to her via text and said that they basically needed to talk. Destiny says she texted Sunny back, "What's up?" Sunny replied to Destiny and said that there is no easier way to say this, but that her and Moses had been dating and it was getting serious. And then she told you via text. She told you via text. So then that means she didn't even have respect for you. So you know it wasn't no friendship there. Or it could have just been she was just shamed. So she just shot the text. It could have been it. But I'm going to stay on the line, so she just ain't respectful. And that there was never a friendship. Destiny, oh, I'm so sorry. Wait a minute. Destiny responded to Sunny saying, "Your cousin? Bitch, you is dirty." And then blocked her, basically. Tisha says, "Have you had a conversation with Moses about everything since it all happened?" And Destiny says that she has not. So me and Tisha basically like, damn, girl. Like, like, damn. So Tisha says, you go back. And Destiny says, Tisha basically tells Destiny that her and Moses go back about 15 plus years. So this leads me back down the rabbit hole. Because it's my pillow, y'all. My pillow and my heat bag. I like the heat bag on my back. Feel good. So this is why I go down the rabbit hole. Because if Destiny and Moses had been friends for like 15 plus years and they got all this history for so long, well, where LeBarrett come in there? Where does LeBarrett come in there? Because wasn't LeBarrett like a year, 2 years ago? And we've been trying to figure out what happened with her and LeBarrett since that whole divorce had happened. So for anybody who don't know, LeBarrett is Destiny's ex-husband, who was also on the show with Destiny the first time that Destiny premiered on the show. I don't remember what season, but he was married to Destiny. Destiny had their son, and he left Destiny like a couple of days after she gave birth to her son, to their son, and went off and married another woman. And I assume that this is either that she just was shamed about the whole thing that took place with her and LeBerick and how it all transpired, or maybe what was going on within the relationship, or she was legally bound to not speak on him while on this show, him or the relationship while on this show, because it was like pulling teeth trying to get information out of Destiny about what happened with her and LeBerick. This was why the rumors was going on just a year ago that she was fired from the show, because she wasn't giving no information. That's why I'm like, you talking about you back, and do we miss you, baby? Is you coming to talk and give the tea? Because I'm trying to figure this out. Somebody let me know what happened. Somebody give me the scoop. Because if her and Moses has all of this history, where does LeBerick come in? I'm so confused. Anyway, in a confessional, Destiny says Moses and her have been friends for 15 years, and he was a homie. And it was just a different type of betrayal, something she basically has never experienced before. Once again, it's not adding up. Like, the timelines in reality TV just don't be adding up. It don't be adding up. I don't know if it's not for us to read that much into or not, or if it's just for the show, but the timelines never add up. These friendships never add up. These relationships never add up. They don't think we be clocking it, but I be clocking it. Anyway, Tisha says with everything that has taken place, that Destiny and Moses needs to basically have a conversation because of their history. And Tisha basically feels like Destiny is owed the conversation from Moses. Destiny says the crazy part is, if Sonny and Moses had actually been dating, why hasn't the conversation been had between the two? Meaning, if Destiny and Moses had been friends for like 15 plus years, why was it never a conversation between Destiny and Moses before Destiny and Moses made it a thing? Because remember, Destiny was married to a whole other man. So if this was something that, you know what I'm saying? It's because they started around while you thought you was messing with Moses. I'm telling you, Des, listen to me. I'm telling you. Destiny, I'm that friend that's gonna see it all for you. I'm telling you. I'm gonna see it all for you. I'm gonna point it all out. The big, everything. I'm telling you. I'm gonna see it all. And I'm telling you how this went down. I'm just saying. So, Destiny says that it shouldn't have come, basically that the conversation shouldn't have came from Sonny, but from Moses. She feel like the conversation should have came from Moses, or the text message of them being in a relationship should have came from Moses. So Destiny says as a woman, Sonny should have basically told Moses that she wasn't going to be the one to have that conversation with her, that it should have been him. It should have been Moses having the conversation. I feel like they both owed her a conversation. Period. I feel like they both owed her a conversation. I feel like Sonny owed her a separate conversation simply because, Sonny, you knew you was entertaining this girl and that girl thought she was getting close to you like that as a friend. You knew that. So Sonny definitely owed her a side conversation, one-on-one on their own, but it seems like to Sonny that they weren't friends. So technically Sonny feels like she didn't know her anything. But I also feel that Moses owed her a conversation because of their history, basically, that they claim that they have, of this history. So Tisha says, you know you're going to have to confront Sonny, right? Destiny. And Destiny is like, listen, I'm healing. I'm not healed, but I'm healing. She basically like the good Lord is still working on her. And he ain't done yet. He ain't quite done. In a confessional, Tisha said that you can't help who you fall in love with, but you can absolutely help who you entertain. Now, Tisha also said a word right there. So I agree, once again, with Tisha. I agree with Letitia. I definitely do. So Tisha also says that she feels Sonny and Moses should have given Destiny a call and had a conversation with her with Destiny about them jumping into a relationship. And once again, I agree with Tisha. As I just said, I feel that they both owed her a separate side conversation. Period. Where am I? Tisha said, oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, Tisha tells Destiny, with everything else going on in Huntsville, Carlos is having his little podcast saying that it should be fun and that he has Mel as his special guest, and how Carlos has been talking about the Millimeters. The Millimeters, which is Melody's fan base, and then the Raindrops, which is Carlos's fan base. So Carlos is basically having this podcast tour where he's traveling to different cities and different states with his podcast. And Melody is his first guest, basically. So Tisha says that she will not be in the building, especially without an invite, and how she is just not trying to be around the Millimeters at all, because she feels it's just a group of evil women, basically a group of evil females, and that they are a bunch of middle-aged females who are very unhappy within their own lives. The shade. Destiny says that they are more than middle age, and how she has never seen a toxic group of people, feeling that it's just a group of broken women. Destiny also says people that have critical thinking, they don't get on the internet and make the type of nasty and negative comments that those ladies do. Let me find out Tisha and Destiny, y'all hating because Carlos didn't make y'all his first guest appearance on his little podcast. Or let me find out. Let me find out that y'all feel away because Mel got people on her side because of how y'all treated Melody. Huh? And mad that she's still standing. Hello? Hello. Let me find out. Let me find out, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. So, Tisha tells Destiny, it basically sounds like that it's a no for you to the podcast, and Destiny says it's a hell no. Tisha says it's definitely a no for her as well. Destiny is like, we love you, Carlos, but we'll support you on something else. And basically, not with this group of ladies that's present. They basically don't want to be present for the podcast with Mel and her fan base. And so they basically are like, they'll catch the next tour, which they think is in Atlanta or DC. And so Tisha and Destiny basically agree that they'll catch the next tour. Moving on. So finally, we is at this podcast. Finally. I felt like it took forever to get it. Finally, we at this podcast with Carlos and Mel. And we got Carlos stepping out his little spider van or whatever. And y'all, we got Melody meeting up, walking into the building for the podcast. Mel says Carlos has been heavy with his Reality with the King podcast, but she ain't lying. He been on the road with the podcast. Real consistent interview at the interview. She ain't lying. And so Carlos tells Mel that they are going to have fun tonight and that basically nothing is off limits. Melody confirms that Carlos can answer whatever it is that he wants. Mel says that she basically tells Carlos that he knows what she do if she don't want to answer a question. She simply just does not answer. So Carlos starts joking with Miss Van, which is Mel's mom, about how when Melody don't want to answer a question, Melody go ahead and hit you with that, God bless you on your journey. She do. And she do every time Melody will hit you with that bullshit if you ask her something that she do not want to answer. And she got every right. Anyway, so Carlos says that basically when Melody hits him with that line, he knows to zip it up and basically move on to the next question. So Carlos jokes and says that they're going to have a good time and that they hug it out. Mel thanks Carlos and tells him how appreciative she is for him having her as his special guest for the first time tour for his first stop, and compliments his hard work and his consistency that he basically puts into his podcast. So Carlos is like, don't make me cry. Like, don't make me cry, baby. Like, that's not dramatic. Carlos, he'd be like, don't make me cry. And they hugged it out or whatever. And then they become ecstatic about the fact that the tickets were sold out and everybody was there to see them that night. So finally, we starting the podcast. We done made it to the podcast. Now we're starting the podcast. Finally. So they finally made it on the stage. They on the people stage now. Okay. And we see Marcus out there in the audience, which is Mel's brother. We see Stormy in the audience, and of course we see Miss Van, Melody's mom, in the audience. The crowd is cheering or whatever. They got a real crowd, not this little hip hop crowd where you got 4 or 5 paid actresses and maybe 2 people from offset playing a crowd of people, and you got the little chin machine in the background. They got a real crowd out there. So Carlos walks out on the stage with the millimeters. He walks out on the stage and he's like, "Where my millimeters at?" And everybody in the crowd like, yeah. Clearly they are in the building. Okay, clearly. So Carlos then finally introduces Mel on the stage as the Queen of Huntsville and tells the people to get on your feet for Miss Melody. And the crowd is like, woo, woo, yeah. It's so Carlos basically says, tonight we are honoring Melody in the city of Huntsville, and says that he is full of surprises for the dog. And turns to Mel saying that he heard through the grapevine that she had never been to prom. And Mel basically confirms that yes, Carlos, that is true. She has not been to prom. So Carlos proceeds to crown Miss Melody Cherie, with the crown for prom queen, as well as give her a prom queen sash. So she's royalty for the night. So Melody expresses in her confessional how sweet it was that Carlos listened to her and paid attention enough to honor her in that way by crowning her prom queen and as a special guest in his podcast. She basically expresses how she felt that it was really sweet and thoughtful of him. So finally, for the millionth time, we are beginning the podcast. Now they done got that all out the way, all that drama. We finally sit their ass down on the stage. Okay. Finally. So someone in the audience is like, oh, I'm tripping, skipping. See, I be confusing myself on my own notes, on my own thoughts. I just be confused. It be confusion. Anyway, Carlos tells Melody, you are a producer on the #1 show. The #1 show on the Oprah Winfrey Network. Somebody in the crowd yells, #1, baby! And so he's basically saying that she's the producer because Melody and Martell, for the ones who don't know or didn't know, Melody and Martell are the ones who pitched this show to Carlos King a couple of years ago. I believe maybe between 2019 and 2020, but I'm not too sure. Probably before that, but I'm not sure. But they're the ones who pitched the show. So Carlos asks Martell, I'm sorry, Carlos asks Melody, did you think that you would be a part of something that has truly taken over the reality world? Melody says that she knows that something amazing would eventually come. What it would look like, she didn't know. But she says that how good God is and how he knows what's best for us, even when we don't know what's best for us. She says they say wearing the crown becomes heavy whenever you choose to just simply say yes. Basically saying that when you choose to move on, wearing your crown does become heavy as a woman, as a queen. But all we do when things become heavy and hard is we tilt that crown back and we have to keep on pushing. Period. So Carlos asks Mel, does she have any regrets considering her personal life has been all over in full display since the show started? Mel says she has no regrets. She says she didn't know saying yes will bring on so much negativity, turmoil, and chaos, especially when you basically minding your business. So Mel says she sees the bigger picture in the movement. Basically, she sees the bigger picture in the movement when she says that, like she pointed out, look at all of these women in the crowd. Look at all of these ladies in the crowd. It's basically women who supports Melody because Melody had the courage, out of a lot of women, had the courage to actually get up and walk away and stand 10 toes from a bad marriage where her husband cheated on her for years and made a baby with this other woman. And she was able to walk away and stand 10 toes and still standing and not be broken down. So of course, a lot of women have been influenced by Melody over the years because of it. So that's what she means when she says that she sees the bigger picture in the movement. Carlos says one thing that was brought up on the past season reunion was that Mel didn't feel sexually satisfied in her marriage and that she never reached her peak. Carlos proceeds to go straight TMI on everybody, talking about as somebody who has a hook and a curve, and we all just clutching our pearls like, oh my God, like we all like Carlos. And anyway, so Melody is like, basically, let's talk about it. So Melody says that she's not saying that she didn't enjoy the experience with her husband. She is simply answering and responding to the question at hand. Did she climax? And Mel says she wasn't. She said she was not orgasming. She was not having an orgasm. Although she enjoyed the experience, he was not pleasing her. That was something else that he was very much butthurt over. Instead of trying to get to know your wife and what she feels and what she needs, you catch a man tantrum, a boy tantrum, and then try to flip it and say that she wasn't also pleasing you. And that was the reason I walked out and got another woman anyway. Because at least she wanted to do this. At least she wanted to do that. And that's why you at where you at right now. And in the space that you're in right now. Anyway, so Melody, okay, so she basically was like, she was in love at the time and she was young at the age of 22 when she decided to marry Martell. And she says that she can count on one hand how many boyfriends that she has had in the past, and that as a woman, you don't know what you're missing until you get it. And see, I be saying that one thing the men do not be understanding, that the woman's body and their mental grows with her, while the man is still stuck on who she used to be. I'm just saying. So Carlos says on New Year's Day, he was reflecting to the good Lord about the year 2024. And he went to see The Color Purple, the musical, when he received a notification, in Carlos King's words, on his phone about a scene that Mel and Martell had taped together. They go ahead and proceed to show us this, it looks like a Twitter post that Martell put out. Basically saying, I don't want her back. This scene is me playing team ball. I was asked to meet with Melody and Carlos called me after texting the other producers. I'm not taking her flowers. She got me in court saying I'm abusing my kids. Now she has merchandise saying she's against abuse. So that was a post that Martell had put out from the season finale from last season, all right? So Carlos proceeds to say that it was on the season finale, what I just said, it was on the season finale from the conversation between Melody and Martell, when Martell basically brought Melody flowers. They proceed to show us another post. And this post reads, "She tried to get me," with the angry face emoji. "Carlos begged me to take her effing flowers. Talking about the Holtz need to take the show back. My only question was, y'all talk with Melody?" The answer was yes. So I was down. But just like you were delusional about @Saf, don't know what that is, wanting you back, it's the same over here. I don't know what he meant when he said @Saf. I don't even know who @Saf is, what @Saf is. I don't know. Anyway, Carlo goes on to say that Martell said that he was asked by him to bring Melody flowers. Carlo says, and the lie detector determines that Mr. Holt, was a lie. He says the other thing was about this actors thing. And Mel says, false. That was also a lie. Proceeding with another post from Mr. Martell. And this one reads, "The frustration you see on my face is her not doing what the producer said that she was going to do. All of this shit is definitely for TV. We're actors. Carlos, don't delete this. Let's have a real conversation. I might be getting a phone call to fire me after." So here's the thing. The conversation that took place last season on the finale. It all boils down to Martell decided to bring Melody flowers all on his own, okay? Because this was a part of his gaslighting and his love bombing tactic, all right? And once again, Melody wasn't falling for it. So when he handed her the roses, Melody basically told him, "Oh, this was nice, but you didn't have to do this." And she did not accept the flowers. His little man ego was bruised from that point on. So that's what all of these messages and all of these posts were about. Moving on. So Carlos says Martell claiming they are actors on the show pissed him off, basically saying don't do that to the integrity of his production because his producers work really hard and they leave their hometowns and their families behind to come down to Huntsville to basically make sure that the cast has a great show. Carlos is like, basically, don't play with him or his show. Most importantly, don't play with the other cast like that either. When these people is on this reality show really putting their real life personal business out here. Like, stop playing with these people just because you can't fathom the fact that you brought all of these things that's coming back on you on yourself. Anyway, in a confessional, Melanie says, we all kind of seen Martell's social media rants where he tagged Carlos and was like, film his real life or don't film him at all. And we did. Melanie basically says, I think we've been filming the real you the past couple of years. And it's been real. Nothing fake about it. We done watch Martell spiral. That's how we know Martell is a problem. This is all that I'm saying. Martell is a problem. And I don't feel sorry for him at all. So Mel says that this is what she means when she says looking at someone becoming unhinged and unraveling because his moves and his tactics are moves or behaviors of a normal person. Basically saying that looking at a grown man-child not be able to cope with the fact that he messed up and his wife left him and he lost his family all on his accord. Basically. So Carlos says something that came out recently was Martell's arrest. He then asked Mel, did she ever think in a million years that her life would end up this way to where you would have to basically do what she did, which was put the warrant out for Martell's arrest to somebody who was the father of her children. And we got Stormy in the crowd looking like Stormy trying to see what the tea is, baby. So Mel basically says that anytime you have to go through with making such a tough decision that you know will impact your children, as well as that it's always tough. She goes on to say how there were so many transgressions, one after another, that has taken place. And that is true. That is true. It is so many things that has happened over and over and over and over that Martell has done that caused Melody to basically react and come back and be like, enough is enough. She's not going to allow him to run her. It's basically how we got here. This is how we got here. And now Melody is wrong because she's taking her womanhood back and her respect back and not allowing this man to control her. I don't get it. So anyway, they flash us back to season 1 where we see Martell is telling Melody when he first started cheating, he assuming that that's what she's talking about, and Melody is like, of course you know what I'm talking about. And Mel basically telling Melody that she wasn't doing what she was supposed to be doing. And Mel says to him, so what, I wasn't satisfying you essentially? And Martell says, when we would be in bed, I'm saying like, babe, you want to do this, you want to do that, and Melody was basically like, no. And the whole thing came out that he was trying to say that Melody didn't want to give him that Golf 3000, basically, while they were married. How old are you? Then we flip to another scene where Martell is basically saying that I don't care if I slept with 1,000 people. You don't go out and tell people. We keep that in our household. And Melody says you should have kept your penis in the household. And I agree with Melody. What makes you think that it is okay for you to be out here doing whatever it is that you want to do, and she got to sit silently and not talk to anybody about it, or not even put you on blast, because it's what's supposed to be kept within the household, and she's supposed to just go on silently and just not say anything, not react to it, not leave, like none of those things. Like for me, it'd be the misogynistic audacity. That's what it'd be for me. The misogynistic audacity. That's what it'd be for me. That's what it'd be. So then we go ahead and fast forward from season 1 to season 2. When they were all on the cash trip, and Martell continues to get into it. When Martell basically was mad that Melody got into doing music. She wanted to do music, so Melody had put out like a song or two, and she basically expressed her pain from her relationship into the song, just like everybody else does. Martell felt some type of way about that because he felt like it was bashing him, the father of his kids. Martell talking about we have kids together, and Mel basically is like, now he wants to throw her out the fact that they have 4 kids together, and Melody like, was you thinking about our 4 kids when you was making the 5th one? Hello? No, he wasn't. So Melody clocked it, and Martell still can't take the fact that she clocked it. Still can't take the fact. He couldn't take it then, and he still can't take it. So Martell is like, damn right I did. I always held my home down. What they got to do, what you holding your home down got to do with you cheating for 5 years, knowing that you got a wife at home for the past 12 years, knowing that you got 4 kids at home with this wife, and you was out cheating for 5 years out of that 12-year marriage, and had a baby. Not that your mistress got pregnant once, but she got pregnant twice. But you had her have an abortion the first time, but the second time she had that baby. What you holding your home down got to do with anything? Because you wasn't holding anything down. You couldn't have been holding anything down if you out here over here with a whole nother family that has caused your original family to break up. You wasn't holding it down. What's not clicking? What is not clicking? Anyway, so we flash forward to season 4, where we hear Mel talking to the group once again about how because Martell was cheating and he got caught, now all of a sudden she was out here cheating. That was another thing that I was saying earlier. He instead of him taking full accountability, first it was the whole thing about she wasn't satisfying him. Then it was she was cheating while she was in a relationship. First of all, I don't believe that Melody was cheating while she was married to her husband. I believe that Melody loved her husband. The reason that she went ahead and got pregnant with their 4th child, right? The same time that she knew and was aware that his side piece was also pregnant and he was still messing with her. She wanted to stay. She tried to stay and work on her relationship. So me personally, I do not believe what Martell was putting out, because Martell was only putting that out and painting that narrative because it was hard for Martell to take the accountability and the fact that he messed up. So it was making him feel good to go ahead and just deflect all of that over there on Melody and make it seem as if, yeah, she was cheating too. And if Melody did entertain another man while they was still married, I don't blame her. Simply because he had been doing it. A whole family. What are we talking about here? I just can't. I cannot. And it's always men and their mamas back in their shenanigans with the foolishness. It's always men with this mindset who got their mamas back in their shenanigans with the foolishness. When it all boils down to the fact that Martell, you cheated for half of your marriage with your wife and made a child with that side woman. And that side woman got on social media and put out a whole lot of information, a whole lot of information of whatever you have told her, having her head gassed up, all kind of things. Her contacting Melody, all of these things. Now, her constantly ringing your phone while you're with Melody, all in the call with Melody. And you didn't even have enough respect for your wife still at the time to put the side chick in check. Hello? Like, what are we talking about? I can't with Martell. Anyway, so now we back to the future here. We back on the stage with Carlos and Melody. Melody says, in hindsight, everything, something about hindsight. Anyway, so when she looks back at it, she basically says that now she sees how Martell has handled other situations with other people, and she never thought that she would be wishing that she would have had her children with someone else. And I think a lot of women can attest to that. A lot of women can attest to that. Probably including myself. Like, a lot of us can attest to that. Anyway, so she proceeds to say that that's just where she's at with it. She just at the point where she wishes she would have had her children with somebody else. She regrets who she laid down with and who she married. And I get it. I do. You don't regret your children, but you definitely regret the decisions that you was making with that individual, for sure. So in her confessional, Melody says that her wish for Martell, I guess she was asked what's her wish for Martell. She says her wish for Martell is to basically go through some intensive therapy where he can become a better person and become a better man. As long as, first of all, remove the whole mama. Throw the whole mama away. Because as long as he got his mommy backing him, he gonna forever be a titty boy. He gonna forever be a titty boy, and he ain't gonna never take no accountability for nothing because he got his mom backing his shenanigans and patting him on the back instead of holding him accountable, to make him feel good about himself instead of holding him accountable. Forget how he feel, because how the rest of the family feel. Hold him accountable. These men and the enabling ass mamas. So Carlos says one thing that is in the press right now is one of his producers married Destiny's man child. Oh, let me say this, Carlos is messy. But I'm here for it. He was like, so did y'all hear about that? We was all like, yeah, we heard about it. What you heard about it, Carlos? And Carlos proceeds to basically say, for those of you who don't know, Sonny was a producer, and Destiny at the time was dating this guy named Moses. He proceeds to say that Destiny said that Sonny was co-spiring with Moses while she was producing her. Now, I believe it. I believe it. I'm telling you, that's everything that I had said already in this video. I definitely believe it. Anyway, so Carlos says there's a lot of allegations going on with this story. It says that he would like to bring Sonny and Moses to the stage. Carlos, when I say messy, I mean messy. Okay. So Melody is like, wow. Like, we all like, wow. Stormy in the crowd looking like, wow. Like, everybody is just wow. Pure, just shock. We just all flabbergasted. So in the confessional, Stormy says that I'm literally here just in shock. Basically because she's like, there is no effing way that they are present, and that she thinks that this is all messy as hell. But also am very much intrigued about what Sonny and Moses have to say, because the tea is piping hot. And I agree. I am also intrigued. I would also love to know how this all came about with Sonny and Moses, and I would like to hear it from them as well. So Sonny and Moses is brought out on the stage. Sonny hugs Mel. Mel congratulates them on their marriage. And in the confessional, Melody is like, child, oh, this tea is piping hot. Everybody, like, this tea is steaming, like, like. So Carlos says to Sonny, as a producer, you worked with Destiny. And then somebody in the crowd basically yelled, yeah, and she crossed the line. And it just to be continued from there. Baby, when I tell you that the drama on the Love and the Marriage Huntsville seems like it's about to go down, and we're about to really get some. It seems like we're about to really get into some fire with Destiny and this old boy right here. We're about to really see what's going on with this. Martell and his mama. I can't. Like, I just can't. But other than that, this was a good little show. It was a good little premiere, whatever. I enjoyed it. Carlos' ass is messy, but I am here for it. And that was Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 8, Episode 1. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it, how y'all feel down below in the comments. Y'all make sure y'all hit like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Oh, also, I am going to try and get Transform and Rolly episode 3 out sometime this week, as well as the new episode of Baddies Caribbean. I be tired, y'all. Me and my partner. That's why she ain't been here, because we be tired. We work Monday through Friday. I'm 8 to 5, baby. We tired. We be fighting through this, okay? So we're gonna be working on it. Just be looking for it this week. But we'll see y'all next time. Bye.